Now, the Super Brittle recently got a little bit of a buff, and when I say a little bit, I mean a gigantic buff. This thing is extremely overpowered now, so we're going to be doing Flooded Valley Chimps with a whole lot of cash bearer. This is a pretty decent amount. I think it's about 115,000. So yeah, this is very good. This is 13,000 more than that Silas, what was it, Silas like Icicles AZ thing that I did last update, that I was like, this is the most broken thing, it can do 100k spare on Flooded Valley. Well, now we're going up to 115,000 with Super Brittle out of all things. And to think that this was something that would have worked like maybe like 4 or so updates ago, that would be absolutely insane, because Super Brittle is like kind of expensive and you need to put a lot of synergies to make it really do a lot of damage. But we're going to be getting the Super Brittle up, and which is going to be doing like the bulk of the main damage against like even DDTs and like round 98. And then we'll have the Super Monkey Fan Club, which is just barely enough to be able to take out the bad. So altogether, it's actually kind of insane, and Silas is very good, if not better, this update, even though she got a bunch of nerfs, or he got a bunch of nerfs. Goofy. But basically for this early game, I'm just playing this greedy so I don't have to buy primary tier 1s, because when I get the primary mentoring, I want to get them all for free. So I'm just spamming a bunch of like base towers until I can get the primary mentoring. I do have to get like a triple dart, but that's fine. We'll get that up and move along. The early game took a little bit of figuring out, but once I got to the mid game, everything was free. It was smooth sailing all the way up until about the late 80s. So I get a bunch of ice shards, which is very strange because they're not very good. Well, one of them is going to be the Super Brittle. Another is going to be an embrittlement, because I do need +6 damage instead of just +5 to be able to beat round 100. So we'll have a Super Brittle and an embrittlement, but that last ice shards is going to do straight up nothing. So the reason why I get it is because that will allow me to get the faster leveling, and it's the cheapest of the tier 3 ices. So with 4 ices on an expert map, you can get Silas level 20 for round 98, and that's what we're doing. So with that 1 ice shards, that basically means that I'm spending the 1,500 whatever cash, I think, yeah, it's about that, I think, in order to get Silas level 20 for round 98, which is pretty crucial. It really just holds 98 together. Maybe it's a little bit possible. Dorio did say he was going to try to do it without, but that would just make 98 so abhorrently obnoxious. It was pretty tricky doing it without this, and that was on top of doing like a whole bunch of micro and stuff. So with that, I don't really feel like it would be very fun to do 98 without it. It wasn't the hardest round though. That was 99, not because it was difficult, but just because the RNG was absolutely insane, and I spent about 1 hour just clicking play Fast forward, thing dies, do that for an hour straight. You'll see that later, but that was not fun. You just sit there and RNG it out. So very, very RNG with this because it is super brittle. Sometimes it just hits the target. Sometimes the icicles go around. Sometimes there's not enough ceramics. Just a whole bunch of factors determine whether you're gonna lose or win if you have like this scrawny of a setup with just really Super Monkey Fan Club, and that's pretty much it. But in a regular setup, if you have like a Sun Avatar or whatnot, all that stuff, it should be pretty consistent. It will kind of chip away a good amount of damage, and then you just have something really to clean up, and it would work out pretty well. So that's pretty cool. And then also you'll notice I have an alk buff. I do alk buff that super brittle. I find that just to be pretty darn effective. Just a berserker brew, nothing crazy. You can get 301, which makes the application a lot more consistent, but I just have a 300 because I think I can really save out and not get that. That also leads to a bunch of RNG because a little bit of the time randomly here and there it doesn't have alk buff, and yeah, that just leads to more issues. But with some helpfulness of the retry last round button, I can play RNG to my advantage. So that's how we do some of that kind of stuff on here. But basically all these rounds are just chugging and lugging through, nothing really to worry about, and everything's running pretty smoothly. Jumping back in here for round 95, this was the first round that really took a little bit of time, but it wasn't actually that difficult. I could use my Super Monkey Fan Club ability, so when that was active, everything pretty much died, but when it came down, I just needed to get a little lucky for the very end. Luckily, it was only just a few DDTs that Super Brittle had to take out instead of the 9 fortified DDTs that the Super Brittle had to take out in a row on round 99. So that 95 wasn't too big of a deal. It's just really annoying sometimes because you have to wait out those purples if you die. 96 took a little bit longer than I would have liked, and luckily round 97 I was able to do this pretty well. When you're doing stuff like this, it's really annoying because on round 97 you need to get your abilities back. So with the single target damage based on the Super Monkey Fan Club, I was really hoping I could find a good solution, and I end up going here. So now on 98 you can see I'm resetting all of these targetings. Some are going to strong, some are going to last, and then I get the cross paths, which are free, besides the second one for the middle, which I need for round 100. And then with all of these targetings, with very specifically some on strong last, and then all brought to first later on, as you can see here, I take out the giant chunk of ZUMGs, specifically the ZUMGs, so I leave a lot of Moabs for the Super Brittle to just absolutely chew right through. With some luck, all of that will go down, and then with that icicles on the bottom, I'm able to clean it up. And this was round 99. This was just straight up RNG. I forgot to edit out that one death, but I guess that's fine. You'll see kind of what it looked like 99% of the time. And then on round 100, we just barely have enough to be able to take out the bad. So we pop it open, get the DDTs way at the end, and then we have the level 20 right there to be able to get the insides, and that's pretty much it. That's 115k spare. Ryan Malik actually helped out with this. He had this setup that kind of looked around like this, and then I optimized it from 110,000 cash spare to 115,000 cash spare, so shout out to that, and it was pretty cool. Overall, it's just really satisfying when you get one of these runs that ends off with a mighty amount of cash spare, so that's really nice. 115,000 is definitely a lot, and that is stuck in my mind because after, well, just before I did this voiceover, I did a Dark Dungeon Chimps run that was on pace for over 120,000 cash spare, and I brutally messed it up on round 100 due to a bad miscalculation. So yeah, that was the dream to get a great run there, but not today. Thanks for watching. If you want to help out the channel, you can check out these new videos, like and subscribe for more content, support the channel by becoming a member, and joining the Discord to chat with the community. Bye!